Today is a normally I do on the first of the every month equity outlook, and yesterday the slot was not available, so I thought let me go today, and we are going to discuss about how do we see the market going forward and what happened in the month of June. We all know that one eventful event outcome was declared, that is election result. We also know FOMC announced its policy decision. We also know RBI gave us clarity about what should we expect in terms of rate cuts going forward. And we also know what happened to the GST collections. And how do we basically look at those numbers and make a sense of that? But before I begin my webinar, I have a very important announcement to be made. And I'll discuss that post my disclaimer that this webinar is just to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Please consult your financial advisor before buying and selling any stock. Past performance is no indicator of future returns, and investment securities are subject to market risk. But today I came across two incidents, and I want to share with you people. Live incidents where people lost money in crores. And these crores rupees have been lost because the thing one should not have been doing, they have done that. So one case, in this Telegram and WhatsApp has become a very dangerous place to be in. You will get lured to make quick bucks. कोई पता नहीं है वो क्विक बक्स रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा. बक्स ही नहीं रहेगा, क्विक का क्या रहेगा. Let me give an example. One person has been promised that if he invests in SME IPO, he will get a short returns. And he has been shown 1 crore profit also, which he is never able to take it out. Now he has been informed that whatever the IPO got subscribed more than 200 times. And this Telegram channel informs him that 50% of the public quota has been allocated to him. If oversubscribe hua hai 200 times, and say please make the payment to us. As we all know, in IPO, you don't have to make any payment to anyone. It's a ASBA that takes place. Money gets black, and that money gets blocked to the company, not to the Telegram channel account. The reason why I came to know, because this gentleman has already put 3.5 crore given that money. He wanted 1.5 crore more, and that's why he approached one of our colleagues. He is willing to give his house paper to borrow that 1.5 crore so that, and he is so confident कि मैं 5 crore रुपया डाला है, this will become 10 crore. In next 2 days, I'll repay your 1.5 crore. Without realizing, it's a big scam. Another incident I met personally, this gentleman just before this webinar came down to our office. Another Telegram channel, कौन है उसके पीछे, क्या है, कुछ पता नहीं. Already lost what, $5 lakh kind of stuff. Sorry, total 5 crore, so $7 lakh kind of stuff. What Nvidia says लेने के लिए, and they give you 5 times leverage, and then you also open another account for the forex, and I don't know what he did. And the beauty is that he has been forced to invest more now to recover. He lost big time money. That's what the account says. I asked him if he has bought Nvidia, asked the Telegram channel to give him the contract notes. if he has bought it? What is the guarantee that shares are there in his account? The reason I'm sharing with you people, please be careful with your money. We all want to become crorepati, am I right? This is not the way. आप रोडपति बन जाओगे इस पे. I don't understand the psychology of the people कि उसका खुद का घर गिरवी देने को तैयार है to borrow that money to whom he doesn't know who the person behind that company. Why do we want to do that? Why can't we control our emotions? And I really feel, you take years and years. You compromise on your need, you compromise on your desire. And you save that money, and some stupid guy will fool you, in 3 months all your savings will go down the drain. Why you want to do that? क्या मतलब है उसका? When you are traveling, you will save that money, you will travel by economy class, not in business class. क्यों? पैसा बचाना है. Instead of staying in 5-star hotel, you may stay in 4-star or 3-star hotel. Am I right? That's how you save money. And then you become so greedy कि जो पैसा बचा है वो बेवकूफ़ के किसी चीटर को वहाँ पे पैसा दे दो आप. मत करो ये प्लीज़. ये बेवकूफ़ी है. मेरा तो 1 रुपया नहीं गया, पर मुझे दुख होता है because it's the hard earned money of investors. And I can understand there's one channel of Telegram or there is one, this one. There are hundreds of channels are there operating in the country. And even if one Telegram channel is fooling 100 customers, multiply by that number of channels available, and you can imagine the amount of this. Really painful. I'm a little disturbed also because when I see people, and the reason why we come in front of you to make you inform investors so that you know what is good and what is bad for you. And on the other hand, people lose this kind of money. 3 महीने में 5 करोड़ रुपया घुमाना is a no small amount. And the worst thing is that this gentleman wanted to put more money in that 5 crore जो गया उसको बचाने के लिए और 5 crore डाल रहा था. You don't have to make mistakes. You can learn from other people's mistakes also. Please don't do that. I'm giving you 2 live examples which have come across today. ये आज की बात है और one example I'm just before this webinar I came in. So please don't do that. Let me come back to the market now. The topic that we have, equity outlook, and I'll be more than happy. And in case anyone in this webinar who's have gone through that, please raise your hand. Please ask the question. I'll be more than happy to answer that. What happened in the month of June? I think the market saw extreme volatility in the beginning because exit poll came which suggested BJP will get the sure shot majority, NDA will get more than 400 seats, and market moved up. On the result day, the story was a little different. We all know what market cracked very substantially because BJP did not get the number of seats which exit poll was suggesting, or NDA did not get it. But despite that, BJP's poor performance, it did not impact the market sentiment. In fact, it's one of the best months in the recent past that we have seen, and I'll show that numbers to every one of you. Small cap moved up by 10% almost in 1 month. I must tell you there is a lot of speculative element in the equity market also. If we are not very conscious of what we are getting into, I'll show you some data on the cash trading volume. You'll get surprised to know that data. I'll show you that data also today in my presentation. The speculative elements are very active in the market. The mini, mid and small cap Well, the vested interests are ensuring that this script goes up. And that lure of quick money, I know investors who are selling the quality companies to park funds into this momentum play. And they are going to burn the fingers very badly. You can record this, what I'm saying right now, and listen to me after 3 to 6 months. And you will get reminded that Sunil Damania on 2nd July 2024 had made this statement. He has warned us. We did not listen to him. Be careful of what you are getting. And I've been keep saying this again and again in the webinar. Please do not sell your quality company just to ride the momentum. बहुत बुरी तरह से पिटोगे आप लोग. Sometimes, what looks short-term gain is a big loss in the long term, medium to long term. And sometimes what looks short-term loss or short-term less profit turns out to be a big profit in the long run. So understand that equation very clearly in your mind. I told you 2 examples of greediness and people lost big time money. Something similar will happen in stock market also. I'm not saying no, because some of the small and mid cap which are running ahead of the fundamentals. There's one beautiful article I want you people to read. I think it came in Economic Times today. There's one company which is in the film production. How the price have gone up. I think it's in Economic Times only. When there was the news that that company did not have money to pay even the employees and the script went up substantially up. That company is into film production. Read that article, you get an idea what I'm referring to. Because of this greediness, because of people want to become quick rich, the cash volume in the market has gone to a new high. If you would have asked me 1 year back, can Indian market, cash market daily average can be this number? I would say possibly nahi hai. That is what happened. While everything was in green in the month of June, metal significantly underperformed. Why? Purely because there are doubts now emerging that can Chinese economy can sustain its growth momentum. The data which are coming out, let's say PMI data, which gives an indication that everything is not hunky-dory, and that did impact, as we have discussed enough times in the past also, that metal price is a function of what happens to the China. And if China is not going to do well, I think this is what the challenge that's happening. Indian economy, let's shift the gear from market to economy. India's retail inflation marginally came down to 4.75%. Why I'm saying marginally came down? Because it was 4.83% in the month of April. As usual, RBI did not announce any rate cut and also gave very little clarity when this. So there is a now debate happening within the MPC members. Should there be a cut? There should not be a cut. But I think the one factor which has been, that Shaktikanta Das has been articulating enough, is about the concern on the food inflation. And if the food inflation remains little elevated level, I think RBI is not willing to take any chance to cut the interest rate. If you look at the southwest monsoon, it started on a very weak note. In fact, almost 7% down as of 1st July, that is as of yesterday. The good thing is that market is not much bothered. Otherwise market would not have gone up. The reason why market is not bothered much, because there is a belief, there is a assumption that it will make up for this loss. And hence, that's what has happened. If you look at the GST collection, very marginal growth month on month. The data which came out yesterday for the month of June says 1.74 lakh crore. What was it was there in the month of May? 1.73 lakh crore. So just a marginal increase which has happened on a month-on-month, almost same number. While that's the story on the indirect taxes, the direct tax collection, that is advance tax that you and me, everyone paid, has seen a robust growth of 21% Y on Y. The government for the Kharif crop has announced hike in the MSP for the agri inputs, with the highest increase seen in oilseeds and pulses. Now, if you logically look at it, it's also further inflationary in pressure. Why? Because feed inflation is a concern, and when you increase the MSP, it further adds to the this one. Let's move from Indian economy to the global economy. Even in the US, we saw inflation coming down to 3.3% from 3.4%. But one thing which has started happening, if you rewind to 12 months, 24 months, every central banks are acting in a very uniform manner. Now we see a divergence among the central banks. Some banks have started cutting interest rate, but Fed decided to maintain the status quo. Again, fear is that inflation trajectory does not look very sustainable. And if you look at that, the dot plot, it suggests only one rate cut in 2024. Again, on last day of this month, FOMC will again meet, and I'll discuss what is the probability of the rate cut in that meeting. As I was explaining with the metal, the Chinese economy is showing signs of slowing growth. If you look at prices of copper, after touching high, it's down by 14%, 1.4. And of aluminum, it's almost down by double digit from the high. So clearly, it shows that, and it's a proxy to, in a way, copper is a proxy of what's happening in the world economy. And if it is down by 14%, things are looking little topsy-turvy. Even forget about the US, for the China, I think global also need to be little wary of what's going to happen right now. It's too early, but things looks like this way. Let's look at some of the market data now. So we discuss about the Indian market, we discuss about the Indian economy, we discuss about the world economy. Now we are looking at the hard numbers, because that does give us an idea of where this is happening. If you look at the advance decline ratio in the month of June, superb. Not as good as what was there in April 2023, which was 1.4. Am I right? But these numbers of 1.3 is very good. Can you see? So I think the data looks very, that means this rally has been across the board for the market, isn't it? आप कोई भी देख लो 1.3 and 1.3 whenever happens, the market normally surge very smartly. That we saw in the month of April also, that's happening. Now what happened in the month of April when it happened, the May was not so great month. Is that the July be the very similar kind of a pattern that we see? Am I right? We need to see, but that's what we did not see in the month of April 2023. It was 1.4, but again in the month of May, it was 1.1. So it was not that bad. We need to wait and watch what happens. But as I've been saying time and again, the valuations are extremely rich in the market. Now this data, and I think this data needs a lot of your attention, and I want to spend some time here. If you look at this market cap, we were near about 2.5 lakh crore in June 2022. We are at 439, almost double. in 2 years, our market cap has doubled. And in June 2022, July 2022 was not a what we call, क्या बोलते हैं, COVID वाला नहीं था. Am I right? So that's a very big jump. And if you go back, last month it was 412 lakh crore. Surge of near about 25 lakh crore. In the last May, in fact I made a mistake, it should be June, but anyway, last May it was 2.83 lakh crore. From 2.83 lakh crore we moved to 439 lakh crore. Substantial jump that we are seeing, 150 lakh crore, that jump that we have seen in the market. And this jump has happened with a good amount of volume. In fact, Khelo India Khelo. You look at this jump of 1.52 lakh crore. Can you see these numbers? 1.52 lakh crore daily average. And you look at in the April 2020, it was only 51,000 crore. What a jump. And I must tell you, I'm little concerned. Why am I concerned? Because it's making market more heated. You know, when it touched 1 lakh crore, we thought it is a big number. Now it's further gone to 1.5 lakh crore. And look at April 2023, that is last year, 51,000 crore tha, khali. We are 3x of that in little over 1 year. My worry is that somewhere, and in fact, very recently I was listening to Madhupuri Buch, which she made a statement, SEBI chairman, that so this is cash market. This is an FNO market. That's a different market altogether. Am I right? And that money is going to FNO, and it says the savings are going, which is not going to productive assets. And on the top of it, this kind of a volume happening in the cash market is a little worrisome. I know I have been keep saying worrisome. Market is not listening to me. Of course, market has no obligation to listen to me. But somewhere these data points are not very comfortable. As I explained you, 9.9% small cap, as and when there is a risk-on strategy, realty will always do well, and that's what we have seen happening there. Am I right? Mid cap was up by 6.1%, Sensex are up by, Nifty are up by almost 5%. Metal, as I was explaining you, is marginally down, and PSU Bank, we saw some amount of a underperformance. Only 0.01% that we are seeing in the PSU Bank. If you look at it, IT made a very smart comeback, and so is the case with the Nifty Banking and Nifty Finance, which I have been kept saying in my webinars. We also believe some of the laggards can make a comeback and could lead from the front in the next half of 2024. Nifty50 stocks in June, Shriram Finance, as you all know, came into Nifty50 very recently, was up by 21%. Ultratech Cement went up by 15%. Wipro, which has been little laggard for many years, so that's a 12.3. HDFC Bank up by 10% in the month of June. Sorry, a company which has not performed well is up by 10% in 1 month. Okay, if you look at Maruti Suzuki down, BPCL down, that's again BP's the PSU stock. Coal India PSU stock down by -3%. Adani was down by 2%, and so on and so forth. But I think the biggest fall came from Maruti Suzuki, and Reliance also has shown amount of momentum. Now we look at this. This is a very interesting data. Wipro IT stocks, Tech Mahindra IT stocks, LTI Mindtree IT stocks. So out of top 10, 3 stocks are from IT sector. And that's why I keep saying that there is a sector rotation happening in the sector industry, in the market. There is a stock rotation happening in the market. FIs have come back very strongly and pumped in almost 27,000 crore in the month of June. And what is a good thing is that even DI has been positive. 28. Of course, It's not as good as what they did in previous 3 months, as you can see this data, but they nonetheless, they did a very good job of remaining positive. All right, so their net investment came down, but nonetheless, they're net positive. Indian market performed better as compared to the US market. While Dow is up by only 1%, the Sensex is up by 7%. S&P 500 is up by 3.47%. BSE 500 is up by 6.87%. And Nasdaq, which is up by 6%, Nifty50 is up by 6.57%. So I think Indian market outperformed the US market. This is just and we'll keep saying this data till the southwest monsoon is not over. Rainfall deficit is as on 1st July was -7%. South Peninsula India has received good monsoon of 16%, but whether it's the central, northwest, east and northeast, I think it's a deficit. But IMD came out with the report, I think today, yesterday, which says that in next 5 days, all across the country, the monsoon would have reached. And there is a prediction from the IMD that in the month of July, we will see a above normal monsoon. So whatever the deficit that we have, I think we'll be able to see that what we call deficit being covered, isn't it? So let's see what happens there. The first half is over, am I right? That is Jan to June. We normally want to see what's happening in the second half. And if you look at it, I did some analysis there. What really surprised me is that normally the first half is good as compared to second half. And this we discussed with our PMS customers last week. I thought, let me share this data with you people also. So the first half average return is 5%. The second half, the average, that is July to December, the returns are 9%. But this equation changes in the election year. So if you look at the election year, which is 2014, the first half return was 20%. As you can see here, second half is only 8%. In other words, the first half gave higher returns as compared to the second half. Let's look at the 2019. 9% return, 5% return, second half. So, again, the less than what second half gave less return than the first half. Fortunately, 2024 also gave 9% return, very similar to the 2019 returns. What happens here is a little question mark. As we keep saying that, upside is kept time and again. What we did in our PMS, we moved to the quality stocks. And exactly why we want to do that, because we may forgo short-term gain, but we don't want to compromise our long-term gain. Because momentum is looking very extremely good. If you look at market core GDP, price to earning, they're all looking extremely rich. And I'll come to my prediction about June numbers also in a while. So normally the first half is good as compared to, second half is good as compared to first half. But in the election year, the first half is better as compared to the second half. That's what we have observed in last two, this one. So what do we expect going forward? Of course, everyone is waiting for the budget to come. Most probably that will get announced in third week of July. We all know what's happening in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Heated arguments, debates are happening, which is good from the democracy point of view, because that's where the democracy can thrive and thus. So that's happening, and we will come to know about the election outcome in this month itself. There is an expectation that there will be some amount of relief to the taxpayer. Maybe the standard deduction can go up on the salary employed, and at the same time, the rebate on the income tax can further go up just to reduce the burden of tax, which in turn more money with the hands of the taxpayer, which in turn could spur consumption. So that's the thought process, and most probably, in fact, you should read an article which I wrote. What are my expectations from the budget for the mint? If you want, we can share that link to all of you, and you can read that article. Am I right? In fact, if you want, just see. Otherwise, we can put it. Can we put it on this one? कर सकते हो क्या हम लोग? Link, huh? Asha, you will explore that whether it's possible. On the others, we can share that link, otherwise through email also. I think the most awaited thing which every market is little anxious also, a little this is the capital gain. And I think, this topic every budget time comes up. Market little get little nervous, little anxious, and then, things. So I also touch upon that thing in my article, and I said the best time to take a very bitter pill is when the going is great. Right now, going is going great. Might as well take that bitter pill and bite the bullet. Finance minister should do that and align completely the short term and the long term capital gain. See, what has happened, I think, somewhere the unintended consequences of, the long term gain. If you all know that 2018 long term capital, till 2018 long term capital was zero. You never paid any single rupee on the long term capital gain. Am I right? And then it got introduced with 10%. No cost of indexation. But of course, you got cost of purchase at 31st January 2018, whatever the price, purchase price or this one becomes the cost of to compute the capital gain. But in the process, what has happened? The short term has become 15%, long term has become 10%. Now, if you look at the differential is only 5%. So there is no little incentive for someone to even think long term. And in the process, India has created more traders than the investors. So I think there is a need to recalibrate that. We all know that RBI has been very, very benevolent in terms of giving away dividend to the government of India. Now, government has a choice. How do we utilize that funds? And market will closely watch. Will they try to reduce the borrowings from the market, or they go a little accelerate on the infrastructure spending to ensure that the economy becomes more resilient and more efficient, because if infrastructure saves a lot of money on the logistic cost. So it will be interesting to watch what happens in the budget. As I was explaining you, FOMC is going to announce its decision about the rate cut on 31st July 2024. Don't expect any rate cut. Okay. And even if you look at the Fed Watch tool, which is of course, this data keeps changing as the new data points comes in. But as of today, the probability of rate cut on 31st July is only 9%. कुछ ज़्यादा आने नहीं वाला है. June we had seen deficit rainfall. July, there is a hope that the monsoon will be above normal. For some reason, monsoon is not so good in the month of July. I think it will make market a little nervous, because we did not have a very great year last year in terms of monsoon. A second year in a row, it will be bad. And what market will look forward going forward is June numbers, which will start coming out in the next 1 week or so. Don't expect great numbers from June. I must tell you that. I was going through some of these June numbers for the automobile companies, and they did mention that because the sales numbers are very not so great for the first quarter, purely because of what? Because of election, purely because of the heat waves. One of the hotel companies, and I think there was some article today or yesterday, I can't recollect, that hotel companies also mentioned that the occupancy has been a little low because of election and heat waves. And I think that kind of a trend we will see in other corporate story also, commentary also. So don't expect too great numbers from the June quarter this year. But what market will little be excited looking forward to is the commentary given by the management. Do they see revival? Do they don't see revival? What kind of capex? Because everyone's waiting for the election outcome to decide next course of action in terms of capex. What happens there? And I think market will look to that. So that's what we need to expect going forward. With this, I have done my presentation, and thanks for your patience listening. Let's open the floor for question answer. आमिर एक काम करते हैं, I wanted to understand how many people have faced this problem of किसी ने लिखा है कि टेलीग्राम या व्हाट्सएप पे and they've invested or they've been duped and that's a thing. Just कर दो. Yes, thanks a lot, sir. Mupkankar sir, happy chartered accountant. Thanks a lot, sir. My query is that in recent days there is an upsurge in paper sector stocks. Is there a specific reason for upswing in the paper sector? How long it may continue as paper stocks is cyclic in nature? It's a very classical case. In our PMS, I was threatened by our customers. If you don't sell paper stocks, I'll close down my PMS. And that's what the sentiments are all about. And I always tell investors, अपने इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करना सीखो. पैसा आपका है, मेरा नहीं है. Am I right? Now coming back to paper stocks, I think it is the reason, it's as you rightly said, it's cyclical. There seems to be a fundamental change happening in the paper sector, and that's the reason if you look at the valuations of paper stocks, they were anyway cheap. They were not trading at a very rich valuations. I don't want to go company specific, but if you look at some of the stocks which have run up very handsomely in last 1 month, some of the stocks are by more than 60%. The reason is that market is now, as I was explaining you that there is a sector rotation, a company rotation. That's exactly what has happened. The paper stocks did not participate. Now that rotation is happening and people are now saying, okay, kaun sa sector sasta hai, अच्छा है, let me go that. Now, having said that, any company moving up by more than 60% in 1 month will see some profit booking. But the valuation, despite this more than 60% surge, they remain very, very attractive even that point of view. And some of the companies have a very good management. If you listen to their commentary, if they listen to they're quite good. So my sense is that there could be more upside provided you can see some little downside in the immediate near future. Why? Because there will be some profit booking. Someone who must have bought at the higher level will come and try to lock in some profits. But then the valuation why they looks continues to be very, very attractive even at this point of time. Shyam Sundar, these scamsters are cheating people. One the name institutional accounts, which they claim that got special rights. They fool using upper circuit stocks, IPOs and bulk deals. They claim that the institutional accounts can buy upper circuit shares even when there are pending orders. They are using a fake app and so fake ledger entries, and people take it real money. Root cause is too much of greed. People forget that money cannot be earned so easily. श्याम सुंदर जी सर, मैं आपको एक बहुत बड़ा सैल्यूट करता हूँ, नमस्कार करता हूँ. I think you said a very right thing. And my request to all of you, what Shyam Sundar ji has said is 100% true. उन्होंने जो बात बताई वो पते की बात बताई है. Don't get fooled by this. They will create a fake ledger for you saying that आपने इतना करोड़ बना दिया. भाई मांगो ना वो पैसा बनाया तो तुम देना, ट्रांसफर करें बैंक अकाउंट में. If they say I made 50 lakhs 1 crore, बोला ट्रांसफर करना. That's a real power. Whether they transfer the money or not, कभी नहीं होने वाला आपका वो. And they will keep fooling you to put more money in that account. That the greed, and I keep saying this. In fact, if you remember, I think last week or one before last week, I did I shown how customers lost money, and I shown you the clips of various newspaper and various websites. फिर भी लोग समझते नहीं. I don't understand कहाँ पे दिमाग कहाँ जाता है आप लोग का. हम लोग अगर बेंचमार्क 20% गए और हम लोग 18% कर लो तो आप लोग हुल्ला गुल्ला कर लेते हो. आपका पैसा तो सेफ है. एटलीस्ट जो शेयर लिए वो है तो सही आपके एक नाम पे. यहां पे तो कुछ नहीं है आपके नाम पे, समझ के चलिए आप. ना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नोट है आपके नाम पे, ना आपके नाम का शेयर है डीमेट आपके नाम पे. बोलो ना शेयर किधर मेरा है तो दिखाओ ना, डीमेट में तो दिखना चाहिए आपको. This is how people have been cheated. And Shyam Sundar, thanks for putting this. I'm very happy. Please listen to what, and he said root cause is too much greed. Greed and fear are the part of emotions. An investor who cannot control either of it वो इन्वेस्टर कभी पैसा बना ही नहीं पाता. आई मस्ट टेल यू दैट. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल. आई एम नॉट सेइंग होना चाहिए, बट कंट्रोल में होना चाहिए. And he rightly used the last word. People forget that money cannot be earned so easily. Yes. जो अच्छा दिखता है, sometimes वो अच्छा होता नहीं है. Thanks a lot, Sam Sundar ji. Sunil Gupta, thanks sir. Markets were DNA to move with less emotion, external noise, and furthermore having views on stock, not on sector as well as market cap. Why there is a different practice on the auth of on the PMS? So it's now your question is not very clear. Why there is a different practice on the auth of PMS? We follow the same thing. We have a view on the company. We don't have a view on the sector. And we follow with our IP. So what is it like? I don't understand, sir. What is the difference we are seeing in PMS? Let me understand, sir, more clarity, sir. What you wish to ask us? I don't think there is some perception difference. That's it, sir. Yogesh is saying, shall I redeem from small cap mutual fund now and rather shift the money to the large cap mutual fund? See, sir, don't do it just for the sake of doing it. I have been keep saying that. I don't know the small cap fund that you are referring to. The fund manager would have taken some due diligence and invested in those kind of company. If they have invested in that kind of company, small cap, then why you should be worried? So, the fund manager would have, see, there are thousands of small cap company. Now, it's all depending upon which of the 1,000 your fund manager would have bought in that mutual fund. I don't know which mutual fund you have in. I have not looked at those, the holding also in that. Even if I know mutual fund, I would not know that. My only worry is that what looks, there are stories you will keep saying, is company ne itna munafa kar diya and this and that. Sometimes we may not know that actually money is actually been there or not. So be careful what you are getting into. If mutual fund is there, I assume and presume that fund manager would have done his due diligence. It would have invested in a right kind of a company. I assume that. And hence, don't do that. But if you put your own money, Yogesh ji, then be careful because your due diligence may not be as good as what the fund manager would have done that. Because fund manager would have spoken to the management, they would have done the plant visit, they would have spoken to the distributor of that companies and so on and so forth to do that. If you invest, you may not don't have a bandwidth, you may not have a bandwidth also do that. So that's where I think you need to be extra cautious than the mutual fund. That's what my advice would be. I was nearly one of them, Sridhar saying, but luckily escaped in the last moment. There is a group operating on WhatsApp by name A31 Upstock Service Group. I'm very happy, Sridhar sir, that you got saved. And please spread this message to your friends and relatives. The reason I'm sharing with you that I want you people to be aware of that. So, sir, Sridhar sir, if you have come across and you have saved, please spread that message to your colleague, your friends, your relatives, so they don't get fooled by this kind of a group. Please do that. My request to everyone, become a good citizen. Okay, अपना फायदा खुद नहीं लेकिन दूसरा नुकसान भी तो मत कराए. See, by making this statement, I have nothing to gain. Okay, but at least I will have a comfort. At least I give a right advice to the investors. It's your hard-earned money. So, Sridhar sir, I'm very happy that you put it. Please spread that message to your friends and relatives, whatever the WhatsApp group you are into. उनको भी एक सचेत कर दीजिए कि नहीं तो आपके पैसे चले जाएंगे. Ramesh is saying, Ramesh sir, privilege defense infra values are very high now. A correction will bring them to realistic prices. Which sector is better now, even in huge correction? So, sir, what we have done, we can tell you, like Sunil Gupta was saying that we don't have any view on the sector. So, what happens is that, we don't have any view on the sector. But how does this sector get formed? Based on our IP, we'll get more companies from that sector. And that gives an idea which sector is likely to perform well. That's the way. So, we don't have any view on the sector, as Sunil Guji rightly said. So, our sense right now, I must tell you what we did in PMS. We did increase our allocation to NBFCs. We did increase our allocation to the private sector bank. So that's we believe could be. Another thing I think, normally when there is a risk off, if the market has to correct, there will be a risk off strategy. And when the risk off happens, people prefer to go to the IT and the FMCG. That's what have been traditionally been observed. Something similar can happen even as in when the correction happens, these two sectors can also get benefit of that. That's what my understanding at this point of time. But this is my personal opinion, not the IP opinion. Devki Sawant, Sunil sir, we have stayed away from mid and small cap shares and we have witnessed what happened to the market. It is good to protect our capital, but we must take advantage of prices also. If we see that market is cracking, we can sell off the small cap shares at lowest possible price, but still made some more money rather than in staying away from the market. I think we have lost the opportunity. What are your views? So, it's what we are saying is very easy to do, because sometimes the difficulty in the mid and small cap is that when you wish to get out, you may not be able to get out at the price you want to get out from. Am I right? Because liquidity kam hoti hai. Sometimes the company is only available at circuit. Even if you wish to sell, you may not be able to sell that quantity at that stated price, and so on and so forth. And see, what I have observed, Devki ji, is that there is a cascading effect happens. So, as I explaining you in the beginning of this webinar, what looks not so exciting in the short run turns out to be very exciting in the long run. Am I right? And what looks very exciting in the short run turns out to be very disaster in the long run. I must tell you that we did this somewhere in the month of March. We moved out from mid and small cap. And I can tell you with a lot of confidence, if you look at the 3 months performance of Devki ji in your case also, I think we would have outperformed the benchmark. That's what my sense is. Not because in many cases we have seen that happening. So my sense is that I think by moving into the what we call the large cap, I don't think we have compromised on the returns in the last 3 months. So the reason to underperform because of we have not taken exposure to mid and small cap, I doubt that's let's say the right way to look at it. But nonetheless, let me see your portfolio now. I'm logging into your account. Ma'am, are you with us? I can't see, ma'am, your. I don't know which name it has been. कौन से नाम से है ये? ईमेल कौन सा है, कुछ बता सकते हो आप मुझे? अमिल? अक्का क्या नाम है? देवकी क्या है? अक्का ने उसके बिस्मे का नाम? नहीं ईमेल नहीं उनके विश्व का कोई नाम है क्या? ओके, सो आई डोंट नो देवकी जी व्हाट्स योर नेम विथ अस, so I will not be able to tell you. There is a one Sawant in 3 months portfolio is up by 12.87% versus benchmark 10.17%. There's another Sawant, let me just go so that I can look at it, and maybe then I don't have your accounts, I don't know whether you're a previous customer or not, and hence I will not be able to comment then in that sense. But let me see another Sawant, which is we have 2 Sawants only right now in our system. 15%, 16% versus 10% in last 3 months. Yeah. Bharat Mehta, every week I receive a call being spoken by a beautiful voice of a lady telling me that my parcel is stuck with the custom department and press 9 to get full details. I immediately disconnect and do not encourage further communication. Bharat Bhai, there's another scheme that is going on. They will try to threaten you that your parcel in the custom has some objectionable material and then will try to extort some money from you. Please, in fact, what you should do, you should block that number itself so that same number doesn't call you again and again. And I think Bharat Bhai has also said very nice thing. That's another scam that's happening in the market. Be careful, otherwise you'll lose big time money. Thanks, Bharat Bhai. Bala Sundaram sir is saying, hello Sunil ji, we see indication that in the US the borrowings are higher than their GDP. Hence, analysts strongly feel that there can be a recession in the US and that's likely to have a cascading effect on the rest of the world economies. Though we have heard of this multiple times, we are now seeing a stronger buzz. Kindly share your views. So, Bala Sundaram sir, as you rightly said, not only in the US, I think what has happened post-COVID, a lot of government had to give more money in the hands of the customer to survive that COVID time. And due to that, the balance sheet has become little blotted. Will that happen, not happen? Very difficult to say. I'm not an economist and hence, based on my limited knowledge, I don't think that's going to happen. Why? Because US dollar continues to be the reserve currency for the world. So whatever the money they need is available with them. See, when does the bank goes bankrupt? Or when bank is not able to meet the obligation? When there is a rush on the bank and due to that there is a liquidity problem. We don't see a liquidity problem for the US because many countries across the world have still continues to keep their currency in US dollar. So जब तक वो है, I don't think they will be still when we should be worried about that. If there is a change in that, then there is a liquidity risk which can run into a problem. If you know some of the small bank which got burst, Silicon Valley Bank, if you remember, in US, purely because of liquidity risk. More people wanted to borrow money from the bank. The bank did not have the money to this one and created a cascading effect. I don't think that's a concern right now. So I don't think we should read too much into it. Maybe this could be a concern 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, we need to wait and watch. I don't think it's an immediate concern for the market. Bhargav is saying, how do you build a presence in your IP? IP is not a human being, na? IP is, human being as a emotions. IP doesn't understand the noise, as Sunil ji was saying, Sunil Gupta was saying. We don't have any noise to IP basically looks at the data which comes in, and based on the data, it keeps giving buy and sell advice. So it is inbuilt into the this one, what we call it. It's not a human that understand any noise. Gulshan Kumar sir, why have we stopped stock of the month? No sir, we have not stopped stock of the month. I think last time Mohit presented stock of the month. It's very much there. You go to the website, you go to the stock of the month section, you will see the stocks, all the stocks which are there. And every 10th of the month, I don't come, but team do come in front of you and explain why are we recommending that particular stock as a stock of the month. So even this month, it will be there. So don't worry. We have not stopped. Do we have more questions? Okay, Om Prakash Kothari, thanks Sunil for guiding us always. I strictly follow the guidance of Mojo in my model portfolio and model portfolio. Thank you to you and entire team of marketers. Blessed to be in safe hand. And thanks a lot, sir, for your kind words. And I must tell everyone, पैसा थोड़ा कम बनेगा चलेगा. But don't get played in the hands of the scrupulous people who are basically there to fool you. They know how to exploit your emotions. उनको पता है कि आप greedy हो और जैसे पता है वो he will try to exploit you that. So my request to all of you, Om Prakash ji, I think you have done a wonderful job. I think you are in the safe hands as long as you follow Markets Mojo. The moment you get lured by this WhatsApp channel and the Telegram channel, there are people, and I don't know who pass on that information to them, that this person has so much money, उसको जाके तुम बेवकूफ बनाओ. And it seems they know you more about you than what you know about you. उनको ये भी पता होता है आप, this gentleman, he was saying, आप घर से बाहर नहीं निकल तो हमें मालूम है. Everything he was aware about it. मतलब इसको कौन बताता है ये सब बात है राज की? I don't understand that. Very good, sir. Ram Prakash ji, please follow Markets Mojo in a very disciplined manner. Frank is a hi. So most of the spam and scam calls originate in India. They are using computer numbers of US. The way they speak, you can make out that they are from India. This affects the Indian diaspora as lots of corporate community point out scammers from India. Any comments? What comment will I offer, sir? They may be from India, they may not be from India, they may be from other neighboring countries. If I were to, and it's very difficult, the dialects are very similar. वो पता नहीं चलता वो अपनी कंट्री से कि बाजू की कंट्री से, and we assume that these are Indians. So very difficult to make a statement, sir. I have no data to make comment, any sensible comment on this, Frank, sir. Blessing, sir, could you please explain the significance behind the shift from strong buy to buy, hold to backside and Mojo stock rating? Explain significance behind shift from. So, okay, what is strong buy? Strong buy is anything which is company has a score of above 80. If the score goes below 80, but still above 70, it becomes a buy. If the score goes below 70, till 50, it's a hold. So, and the score is a function of quality, valuation, recent quarterly financial performance, and the technical. And based on these 4 dots, we derive the score of the company. And based on the score, the company gets bucketed under strong buy, hold, sell, and strong sell. And blessing, sir, if you need more information, please feel reach out to our team, and they'll be more than happy to explain you more in detail about this. Krishna Raj Ved says, thanks for caring. I have suffered in younger days. Sir, you have suffered in your younger days. The 2 people I am referring you are senior citizens. And in fact, somehow they realize that senior citizens are more vulnerable to this kind of scams. I don't know why this happens. But this gentleman I met today is a senior citizen. In fact, his desire was that once he turned 75, he wanted to donate huge amount of money for the social cause. I said, I made a statement to him, you did a donation, but to the wrong person, that amount. And this guy also, to other guys, and what I'm referring to one who reached out to one of my colleagues, is also a senior guy. Unfortunately, you suffer in younger days. So younger days में क्या है सर, पैसे बहुत कम होते हैं. Because you're still in the process of creating a wealth. At the age of retirement, and if you make a mistakes in younger days, at least you have a scope of recovering that. Why? Because you will work little hard to recover that losses. But once that happens in the post-retirement life, एक तो पैसा बढ़ा जाता है because you have earned that, and because of greed, that money goes, and then you don't have a recourse to recover that money because now you cannot work. So fortunately, sir, आपको तो बहुत सही समय पे हो गया. And sometimes I said, sometimes the failure should come early part of the life because it teaches a very good lessons. I'm very happy, sir. I'm happy in the sense, don't take it otherwise. But at least, sir, आपका छोटे में काम निपट गया. नुकसान थोड़ा हुआ, लेकिन आपको एक समझ आ गई. Usman is saying, Sunil, you told metal will not sign much due to China slowdown. Will it affect the silver also? See, silver has done extremely good rally. So don't link silver with the China. Okay, because there is no correlation. I'm not saying metal will not sign. What I made a statement that if metal has to sign, China has to do well. So what happens to China is going to decide what will happen to the silver. So don't get my statement wrong. And silver is also a function of, in fact, if you go back to my presentation which I did in January 2024, equity outlook for full year, I did mention that silver get used in a lot of renewable energy like solar panel, EV, and so on and so forth. So there is a strong demand for that, and that sector is doing reasonably well. But the price of silver has gone up too much in the process. If you look at first 6 months, I think silver is almost up by 43-45%. I don't track silver so closely, so I wouldn't know basically. But my sense is 43-44%. And that's the too much again. So there could be a reasonable correction that can happen. So from long-term point of view, silver looks extremely good. Maybe there could be a short-term correction in the silver price. That's what my sense is. Satyam Abraham is saying there is a big group on WhatsApp called Kotak Investment, which is enticing a lot of investors into institutional account, and they are trading a lot with daily returns of 20. Seems to be a scam, as it lead investors to seems to be Harsa Upadhyay, presumably an imposter. Tried bringing to the attention of Harsa and Kotak MD, but no response. What we are saying, and in fact, if you can pass on that information, I know both Harsa as well as Nilesh Shah, I can pass on that, and if they wish to take any what we call action, they can do that. But yes, what we are saying, there are groups. See, no, okay, let me tell you one very loud and clear. No SEBI registered institution will make this kind of a daily returns of 20%. Because SEBI will bar them. SEBI has clearly said that when you registered, these statements are always made by the people who are not registered. I can tell you with 100% confidence that Kotak Investment will never make this kind of a statement. That means there is some imposter is doing this. Tomorrow you may see Sunil Damani, someone making a Sunil Damani imposter in making this kind of a stuff. That's very much possible. But आजकल टाइम ज़्यादा का है. फोटोज तो अवेलेबल है सोशल मीडिया पे. वो फोटो लेके डाल देगा और चालू कर देगा. You are very right, Satyan. There has to be imposter. Don't get carried away by that. वो जो आदमी 20% रिटर्न डेली बनाता है, why would he come to you and ask? वो खुद ही पैसा बना के करोड़पति अबजोपति बन जाएगा ना. And as Shyam Sundar ji has said very nice statement, पैसा इतना नहीं बनता एक दिन में 20% किसको बोलते हैं? अगर आपका साल में 20% बन गया, you should be lucky. एक दिन में 20% मतलब 250 days trading days. What kind of return we are talking about? Practically impossible. Don't get carried away. So Amil says it's time has come. We've almost passed 8:06 now. Time to say good night to all of you people. Thanks for patience listening. Please remember, be wary of WhatsApp, be wary of Telegram channels. There are scamsters out there to fool you, to take your money. Be careful. Control your greed. Control your emotions. पैसा ज़्यादा हो गया तो donations कर दो. But don't put money in this kind of stuff. That's what my request. With this, good night, take care. Those who are PMS customers, I must tell you that this Thursday, we do on first Thursday of every month, we do PMS webinar with our performance. This time I'm going to do on Friday. The reason I'm going to do on Friday because Thursday, full day I'm attending one event. And hence, I will not be in office to do the webinar. And hence, we have shifted that PMS webinar on Friday. So all those who are attending from PMS customer, I'm going to come with a report card on Friday instead of Thursday. With this, thanks a lot everyone for patience listening. Good night, take care.